Have you ever caught yourself looking around and thinking, wait, am I even having fun? Trust me, I've been there. Or maybe you're looking at someone else and thinking, why does she always seem like she's having a blast? And I'm stuck being responsible, boring, mom-like. Well, today, my friend, that's about to change. Today, I'm chatting with my personal dream girl, the fabulous Natty Frasca, the pleasure queen herself. We're going to unpack exactly why pleasure, yes, pleasure isn't just a luxury, but a necessity, especially in midlife. And by the end of this episode, you're going to see exactly why embracing pleasure might just be your secret superpower. Ready? Let's dive on in. Natty Frasca, welcome to Create the Best Me. Girl, you are my dream girl. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm so happy to be here. This is so fun to connect with you.
It is. Hey, Natty, for the people that may not know who you are, could you please tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, sure. So I am a coach for midlife women. I help women create lives that feel joyful, purposeful, and pleasureful. And I'm the founder of the Feminine Rebellion. That is the name of my organization. And I coach women privately. I have a boutique, bespoke practice where I work with women for 1 year at a time to just create lives that feel really great to wake up to.
And you also are a fellow podcaster. Is that correct?
I am. I have a podcast called The Feminine Rebellion where we talk all about pleasure, power, and purpose at midlife. And, I happen to have a science background, so I dig into the brain and also the body and give tools on how to live more of an expansive life at midlife, which is, this is our midlife is our superpower, Carmen. That's what I believe.
That's what I call it. I always say this is our time to live the life that we always wanted to live, not the one our parents wanted us to live or our spouse or our kids.
Exactly. This is it. And I love this point because at this point in our lives, we have walked through so many fires, right? I mean, we have experienced heartache, grief, and celebration. And we've had kids, the glorious moments and hard moments of motherhood. But we are so wise. And this is just a crucial age, a crucial pivot point in our lives where we get to choose what the next 50 plus, God willing, years are like. So it's a great time to be alive.
It certainly is. So this is also the particular time in our life where we might be lacking pleasure. And so that's why I invited you onto the show, because you are the pleasure queen.
I am. Yeah. Pleasure is my middle name, I say. And I mean, I'd love to talk more about it. I think when people first hear me say, women need more pleasure, their minds automatically go to the hypersexual. And, they're not necessarily wrong, Carmen. And there is an entire spectrum of pleasure available to women at every age, but it becomes really important at mid-age. And everything from sitting outside, eating your lunch in the sunshine, or hearing your favorite song come on the radio and dancing in your kitchen, or sitting on your couch with a fire in the fireplace with a hot cup of tea and reading your favorite book. Those are all considered pleasure in my book. And if we could define pleasure in its simplest form is anything that gives you or your body a sense of aliveness, a sense of expansion. It's a practice that gets us out of our heads and into our bodies. And, women, especially women in the workplace, as parents, we've been enculturated to always be in our heads, right? We've spent decades making lists, deliberating, analyzing data. And we have forgotten about how we want to feel as we move through the world, and pleasure practices bring us back into our bodies and remind us how we want the second act to feel. So I could go on and on. I don't want to about pleasure and the benefits, but it benefits our brains. It benefits our communities. It's a healing balm that women should be diving into.
Mm-hmm. And how do we remove the guilt? Because I think that guilt gets in the way of being able to embrace pleasure.
I think it's a choice, Carmen. I think we have to make the choice, and we can start small. So I practice with my clients something I call compounding pleasure. So we start by doing pleasure research. So they spend a week or 2 weeks, like a very early on in my coaching with them, where they just go around their world normally, but exploring what brings me pleasure, because every woman is different. So what are the things that make me feel alive? The smallest things. You know, for me, it's walking in the woods with my dogs every morning. It's something I do all the time. It's pretty simple, but when I'm actually thinking about how it's making me feel, when I'm sunk into gratitude in the moment, where I'm not listening to a podcast, I'm not on my phone, I don't have earphones in, I'm listening to birds. That's maybe something that a woman in my practice would identify in this pleasure research part of our program. You know, something else might be just having fresh flowers around, or having, you know, I have next to me almost all the time my favorite lippy. So like when I'm working at my desk, it has like a little scent to it. Like I put it on my lips. It's glossy. I love the color. These are things that we can begin to experience that are kind of guilt-free. Like having fresh flowers on your desk, you know, maybe wearing a sexy pair of underwear underneath your suit, you know, like these are small guilt-free pleasures. And what we do is we build on that. So we start small, and then what's next? Can we expand? You know, there's something that's happening in your brain as you begin to do more and more things for yourself. You begin to create new neural pathways in your brain. So pleasure, it starts to feel safe. So the reason we don't engage in pleasure, that guilt we feel, it feels unsafe to us. You know, what are people going to think of us if we all of a sudden take time for ourselves? Or what about all the other things on our list that are getting pushed to the bottom that I should do, but instead I'm taking care of myself? So we have to build safety slowly. And the brain loves pleasure. The brain loves pleasure. Like the more you engage in pleasure, your brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These are 3 incredible chemicals for motivation, for just a sense of expansion, for connection with ourselves and with others. So when women engage in pleasure, even in the smallest ways, we show up differently. Like when I take care of myself, I'm so much kinder to my husband, right? I'm a better mother. I check out at the grocery store and I engage with my checkout guy. You know, I smile more. I'm just more connected to humanity. So yeah, that would be my answer. Compounding pleasure. And yeah, it serves everyone, not just you.
And, you know, it's so funny. I used to always tell my older kids this because I have a younger child. It's like 20, my kids are like 20 years apart.
Wow.
I used to always tell my older kids when they would say they didn't like themselves. I said, you know, if you don't love yourself and if you don't care for yourself and you treat yourself good, you can't treat other people. You can't love other people. You can't engage with other people. And you can't, you're useless to the world if you cannot start loving here first.
Yes. Oh, you're a good mama, Carmen. So, yeah, it's so true. It's like that age old, saying that you need to put your oxygen mask on first. So, yeah, pleasure is a way to do that. Like deep self-care, awareness. I'm doing this for me. I'm filling my cup. And when I do fill my cup, I'm better. Everyone's better for it. Everyone's better for it.
Yeah. They get the best version of you.
Yes. And this was my journey. I was a burned out nonprofit executive early in my 40s. And I was a mom who was doing it all. Making organic meals and keeping a clean house and working full time. And I was so numb and I was so exhausted and I was pretty cranky. And when I started learning about pleasure and self-care and, did all these trainings and went to coaching school and learned the power of really deeply taking care of yourself. Even my kids today who are, 21, 20, and 17 will say, remember before mama started doing this work? Remember her before? Remember how stressed out she was? Remember how sharp she was? And now I'm just like, it starts here.
And it's funny because I think that you can see that because I've always been like the kind of mom that I got to be proper. Or I have to be respectful. I have to look right. Just like I have to dress like a mom, be conservative.
Yeah.
And then I'd see other moms that were the total opposite of who I thought I needed to look like or be like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they look like they're having fun.
Yes.
Am I having fun? I'm like, no, I'm not really having fun.
Great question,
am I fun
Carmen.
to be around? And I would say, am I fun to be around? Or would people rather be with Natty? Because Natty looks fun and I just look mom.
Oh, yeah. It's a harsh realization, right? And the thing is, what you speak to, Carmen, is this idea that we've been fed about what a good woman and what a good mother looks like, feels like, and behaves like. So we've been given a very well prescribed pathway on how to be accepted by society. So we're pulled together. We are professional. We are, strict parents with strong moral codes. And I'm all for morality, right? I'm all for like ethics and being good human beings. But there is this like good woman box that we are trying to shove our way into. And I think women get to a point in midlife, many women, where they feel so numb and exhausted from trying to be something they're not, by trying to play by the rules when, just like you said, you have this realization like, I'm not really having fun. This isn't fun. And I'm pretty sure that life is about having fun, enjoying myself, enjoying my family, enjoying all of the fruits of my labor. I really think, and being a good neighbor and being a good friend and taking care of ourselves and taking care of others. So we can do that and be a little bolder and a little bit more audacious and speak our desires and take care of ourselves. They can all happen at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And, my daughter, I have a 12-year-old, that's my youngest. She'll come home and she'll tell me some of the stories that happened at school, some of the things that some of the kids have said. And I always say, kids are sponges. They learn from their parents.
Yes.
And I heard myself saying that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if I'm not having fun being who I am, she's my little sponge. She's not going to have fun being who she is because she's absorbing, she's learning from me.
Yes. Yeah, great realization. It's like, what do we want to be showing, especially our daughters? So, I have 2 daughters and a son. So my daughters are 21 and 20. And, it became really clear to me, when I was kind of going through this transformation, that I wanted to show them what a brave, bold, alive woman looked like, felt like, and moved through the world. And, I've said this a million times. I do this work for myself, but I do it for my daughters and my son, because I want him to find a partner who is alive and speaks her desires and has strong boundaries and puts herself first. And so, doing it for your daughter, showing her what it looks like to have her mom dancing in the kitchen, and feeling fully alive and wearing what she wants to wear and speaking up for herself. I mean, that's the greatest lesson. That's the best thing we can give our daughters.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. Have you ever had a friend? I mean, I'm pretty sure we all have them.
Yeah.
Who you say, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yes.
And it gets boring. You're like, no, tell me something you want. Have an opinion. Share that.
Yes. Well, I think this is so normal, Carmen. I mean, that women, we don't even know what we want. And, I've said this before. See, I believe that underneath the surface of our everyday life is a very bold, audacious woman who knows exactly what she wants. She knows exactly what she wants. And yet we have not made contact with her in so long. So, by the time a girl is 7 years old, she has been conditioned to not speak her desires. And so from 7 to, many decades later, we have lost touch with this part of ourselves that knows that, tonight I really want spicy Thai food. Or tonight I just want a cheesy rom-com and popcorn. Or tonight I want to go dancing. She's not connected with this woman inside her who knows what she wants. And that's actually where pleasure comes in. Because when you begin to create access to the part of you that feels, and you think, oh, this makes me feel good. And then this doesn't make me feel good. You can start to kind of delineate or identify what makes you feel alive and what makes you feel numb. And that's where you can start to make decisions about how you want to lead your life, or what you say yes to, what you say no to, what you want to eat tonight, what you want to do on a special night out with a girlfriend. It just comes because you're developing that connection with that part of yourself.
And I think that in midlife is when I think that we start to look a little bit deeper, and we can see that woman or that girl that once was blossoming, but then we tucked her away. Yes. And this is the time when we can express and let her out.
Yes. Yes. We can water her. We can fertilize her. We can do all the things to nourish and take care of her so she can bloom again. Yes, this is it. I mean, it's such a powerful time. And, for many of us at this point, our kids are older, if we had kids, and we've got a little bit more space and a little bit more freedom. And I think this is why at this time of our lives, women are asking themselves these questions. Like, wait, what do I want? How do I want to water myself? What's possible for me? And, I had a client recently whose mother passed away in her 90s, and that was the wake-up call. She said, okay, I'm devastated. My mother has passed, and it is just this kind of reckoning that my time is limited. And I've been placed on this earth at this moment in time to live a good life. And I better make use of this time. And she's right. She's right. Why else are we here? Why else are we here?
But then you have those people that say, tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. Today's not a good day. Tomorrow.
Yeah, well, tomorrow never comes. That's the thing, is that a woman who makes the choice, you make the choice right now to do things differently. You make the choice right now to step off of life on autopilot and step into, a brave new world of possibility. Because really, anything's possible, Carmen. Like, I truly believe this. I don't believe in limitation. I believe if you want to write a book, if you want to take women on retreat. I have a client who recently, left her husband of 26 years. She'd been thinking about it for 2 decades and took a sabbatical in Italy. And she texted me last week. She's like an entirely different human being. Anything is possible. Like, you just have to decide. It's one choice. It's that simple.
Well, the limitation, I think, is your belief that you say it's not going to happen or it's not going to work out. So you plant that limiting belief that, no, I'm just going to keep going because I've gone 50 years like this and it's okay. But okay is not, in my opinion, okay is not good enough.
It's not. Okay is not good enough. And, I think a lot of women get hooked on this idea that, like, what if I decide to do this big thing and it doesn't work out? And so there's fear that holds them back from making a decision they feel like they really should make. But, what if it doesn't work out? And my belief and what I always say is it might not be this thing, but it will be something even better. Like, if you know what you're doing right now isn't working, you have to take little turtle steps in the direction of what you want. And then we readjust. We go step by step by step by step. And it's like walking up a mountain. There are 7 different trails to get you to the peak. You can switch trails. You can do things differently. You can bushwhack your way up. You could hire a coach, a guide that will get you there a little bit faster. But it's just the choice to climb the mountain. Am I going to climb the mountain today? Am I going to lace up my boots? Or am I just going to camp out in the parking lot?
Or we think about that one decision that we had to make in life way years ago, and we thought it was something big and it was tough. But we made that decision. And along the way, as we were walking down this path that we decided to take, maybe there was a little bit of setbacks here and there. But then you look at who you became because you took that big step. You wouldn't be who you are today, or you wouldn't have accomplished what you accomplished had you not taken that first step. And so it's just a matter of taking another big step. Here you are in your midlife. You're taking another big step.
Yeah.
And setbacks are going to happen.
Oh, I mean, when I look back, I remember, like, oh my God, I was sick to my stomach about the choice to leave my job. I didn't know what I would do. What could I possibly do for work, or what would I work? And I would lay in bed thinking this is the wrong thing. I've ranked up in my career. I'm throwing it all away, but I went back and forth for so long. I left my job in 2017, I think, and I had no idea. I mean, I wish I could share a picture of what I looked like back then. I mean, I've completely transformed in 8 years, or resurrected a part of myself that had been buried. And so many twists and turns. I mean, becoming an entrepreneur is not for everyone. Having to show up in a different way, learning how to use my voice. So many moments, crying on the floor of my office thinking, this is not going to work. I mean, twists and turns galore. And, then you kind of land at a spot. You have moments of glory that keep you going. And that's life, right? Nothing's easy. It's not like, we always are the more you grow, the more roadblocks you hit and the more you have to overcome your fear. And that's, I think, a sign that you're growing and you're going towards something, is that when things feel hard, you're like, wow, I'm in it. I'm in the growth.
Mm-hmm. And then you look back now and you look at how many lives you've changed along that way.
That makes me want to cry. Yeah. I've worked with some incredible women, and they changed their own lives. And I got to be an integral part of that, which, gives me purpose, gives me a sense of like I'm contributing to the world. And it's not so different from nonprofit in that, I feel like I'm giving back. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't change it for the world. All the days crying on my office floor were like,
all the days feeling that uncertainty that I screwed up. I shouldn't have done this. I should have stayed.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I never had that. I never had the thought I should have stayed in my old job. I'm a very, look forward. I have had moments where I thought maybe I would stop this and do something else, early on in my business. Like it's hard to grow a business, right? But I never thought, once I got a taste of working with women, coaching women, it was never thought about going back to nonprofit work. And, I hear a lot of the same things with clients. I've worked with a number of women who have left decades-long marriages that they thought, like, I'm just going to stick this out. This is fine. It's not horrible. It's not great. I'm not really happy, but it's stable. And they've gotten to a point where they have kind of pulled the Band-Aid off and left. And it's not easy. It is not easy. But none of them have ever said to me, and I've walked a lot of them through this, I should have stayed. I've never heard that. Like, as hard as it might be to date again or handle lots of things in life on your own, no one's ever said to me, I'd go back. So I think we have an incredible ability or capacity to forge, to move through hard things. We're far more capable than we think we are.
To recognize that this is hard, but it's not bad.
Yeah. It's hard and I'm doing it. It's hard and I have support. It's hard and I'm moving towards something, something that I want. I think that's, anchoring in this future vision is so important. That's kind of fuel to keep you going.
Mm-hmm. Tell us, I know you've told us a couple of success stories, but tell us a particular success story that just hits you right here, that one person that really had this, not really self-doubt, but they were scared, but they knew it was time for change.
The first person that's coming up is this woman I just got the text from, where she sent me that photo from Italy, because she was married to a really nice guy. He was not a jerk. He was a really nice human being. And I'm trying to think, I just don't want to talk too much about, I just have to think for a minute about giving private information. Obviously not going to give her name, but I don't want to give too many details. So very nice guy. They hadn't had sex in a decade. He wasn't that sexual of a human being. And she was just coming into her prime. She was 50 and feeling alive. And she really struggled because she has 2 kids and, now both very recently out of the house and in college. And she just thought, what do I want my life to look like? And this guy is a really good father. And she struggled with how to leave the marriage in like a kind way. You know, how do I walk away and not like make him feel bad or break apart my family? And we explored all sorts of different kind, beautiful, gentle ways. And it started with a lot of really intense conversations with him and really getting clear on what she wanted her life to look like and feel like and how much she loved him. And it seemed like this was a hurdle that they couldn't get past. And, you know, they split semi-amicably, and she has a lover and she's on sabbatical, and she's in Italy, and she's dressed fabulous with a big hat on and taking pictures in a farmer's market with a big smile on her face. And she's managed to have a pretty good relationship with her ex. And it was a very, very hard thing to move through, and a lot of guilt and a lot of like, how could I be so selfish?
But there was a part of her that was not being fulfilled. A part of her that was not making her feel alive.
Oh, God, yes. She felt dead inside, and she felt not wanted. And there's so much there's so much tied into our sexuality and desire and wanting to be desired by our partners and wanting that intimacy and actually needing that intimacy, you know, physically, you know, chemically needing that in our lives. So that would be the story that's on the kind of tip of my tongue these days.
So Natty, based on the conversation we have had here today, what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give the listener or the viewer who knows they have that little girl, that young girl deep down inside them?
Yeah.
And they want to let her out, but don't know how.
Sure. Where I would tell someone to start is I would carve out an hour for themselves, and I would do something I call the desire ritual, which is put on something yummy and delicious. Maybe it's just your pajamas, but maybe it's a silk dress. Pour yourself something nice to drink and grab your journal and answer a few questions. Like, if in a year my life was absolutely magnificent, you know, how would I wake up on a Saturday morning? Who would be with me and how would I feel? What would Monday morning look and feel like? You know, how would I move through the world? What would I wear? Start to create a vision of this woman who's underneath the surface of her everyday life, how she moves through the world. And bring that into your mind, bring that into your body. And then I would pick one thing to do that week that is kind of the embodiment of this bolder you. And I guess another thing I would do, maybe the third thing, is I would share it with a friend. I would share your desires with a friend, a close friend. Say, you know, I did this thing, it's the desire ritual, and I have this vision for what I want the next stage of my life to look like, and this is what it looks like. And I would share it with a safe friend, because we have some friends who are naysayers. Don't share it with that friend. Share it with a girl who always has your back. Share it with a woman who's your yes girl, your go for it girl. If you don't have that girl, DM me and I'll cheer you on. Begin to bring her to the surface, share it with another woman, and then take one tiny little step. So if your dream is to start painting again, if you see yourself on Saturday morning in an art studio, painting on a canvas, your one little turtle step could be Googling studio space in your town or Googling painting lessons, but just the micro step towards what that could look like. I think that'll get people pretty far.
Mm-hmm. what we've spoken here today, what is the one thing that you would want the listener or the viewer to hold close to their heart?
Your age is your superpower. You are exactly where you need to be right now. And you're absolutely divine. So let's go get it. Let's go get that life you want. It's totally possible.
I love that. That is so good. Natty, where can people learn more information about you and begin to work with you?
Yeah, sure. Well, my website is thefemininerebellion.com. So there's a lot of information there. I'm also on Instagram at The Feminine Rebellion. And you could DM me or hop on my email list. There's links to that everywhere. I send out a couple emails every week with tips and tools. So would love to stay connected with anyone in your audience. Would really be a pleasure.
Great. I will include all of your information in my show notes. And Natty, thank you so much for coming on the show. This is a pleasure.
Thank you, Carmen. This is so great. What a great way to spend my Monday.
Heck yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
And there we have it. Remember at the beginning when we were thinking maybe you're the boring mom and not the fun one? Well, no more of that. Natty showed us exactly why embracing pleasure isn't selfish. It's essential. And guess what? When you start having fun, everyone around you wins too. If today's episode resonated with you and you're ready to keep the good vibes rolling, head on over to createthebestme.com/EP120 to connect with Natty and learn more about bringing pleasure back into your life. And be sure to join us next week for another amazing episode created just for you. Until then, keep dreaming big, take care of yourself, and remember, you are beautiful, strong, and capable of creating the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching. Catch you next week. Bye for now.